Hi. So, Dandanaka series edition 3, and I'm very thrilled because the topic or the title that we chose for this month's Dandanaka series is Paradox Tales. And the whole idea of how this Paradox Tales theme came into our mind itself is very interesting. I happened to meet a relative of mine who had gone to Ujjain, and he came with a very beautiful story. He said that he visited a place called the Bhartruhari Caves. And as we were talking, I just asked him, okay, tell me more about the caves. What is the story behind it? And he said, now that you're saying story, Bhartuhari is supposed to be the older brother of Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya, yes, the king that you know of, the very famous Vikram or Vetal series. Yes, so he was the step brother of Bhartruhari. And legend has it that Bhartruhari renounced his kingdom, and he went to the mountains, and he started meditating, and he gave away all his whatever he had to his step brother Vikramaditya. And what attracted us to this theme was in the Bhartruhari caves, the guide or whoever our relative listened to happened to say that he was a man who wrote a lot of paradoxical statements. And then we got into what is paradox, and we discussed a lot of paradoxical statements, and it was very interesting. And we thought, why not do this as our theme for the third edition of Dandanaka series? And voila, that's how we are here. Now, it is very interesting to just let you know what a paradox is. A paradox is something, a statement that is contradicting with itself, like knowledge is ignorance, or if you have to be rich, then you should spend less, or many other statements like these. And there are also very great examples of paradox which people try to solve and see if it works. So when we were trying to find stories about paradox, it wasn't easy, I should tell you. It was very difficult. And even though there are a lot of literary references to paradox statements, to find a story that has a lot of paradox in it was not easy, at least for me. And I was happy that the research led to a lot of understanding about the whole paradox itself. So here are two tales that we want to share with you all. But before that, Mullah Nasruddin, you all should be very familiar of Mullah Nasruddin. So the Sufi saints and all the other Islamic people, they used to consider him as a very very um, deep knowledge person. They say Mullah himself was an example of paradox. He was not what he seemed like. They used to collect the tales, the stories of Mullah, and they used to go into the depths. And whatever Mullah said was to have very layered meanings. And so, whoever collected the tale always warned the readers that Mullah is not the person that you think he is, that he himself is a paradox. So what you see, people considered him when he spoke. Many people considered him to be very foolish, but the statements that he made had so much inner meaning that people started to analyze and understand life's concepts through his stories. Yeah, for example, Mullah Nasruddin, they say, once walked into a tea shop and said, "The moon is more useful than the sun." And when somebody asked him, "Why do you say so?" they said, "Because light is more useful in the night, and that is why moon is more useful than the sun." Now, I'm going to leave the thought process to you. Go and, try to expand what Mullah has said and see what you derive out of that. That is what a paradox is, something that contradicts with itself, but has got, or maybe has bigger meanings that we don't know. Without much ado, the first story for the day. You all would have heard about trolls in Norse mythology. Yes, so they say that the trolls hide under bridges the three billy goats gruff that we have, we would have sang the rhymes, we would have come across the trolls, and there is a troll movie that happened recently. But the trolls were supposed to be ugly creatures, and they were always considered to be hiding under the bridges for some reason. And there was one such troll who was hiding under the bridge and was very, very scary and ugly looking creature. And they say that whoever wanted to cross the bridge were not able to do so, because people believed that once they stepped over the bridge, they never got to the other side of the bridge, because they either became the troll's dinner or the troll killed them and did not eat them probably. So people were very, very scared to even cross that particular bridge and go, because they all knew that there was a troll who was hiding under the bridge. And now this became a very difficult thing for the troll, because whenever the troll craved for human flesh, he was not able to eat one, because no one dared to cross the bridge. But there was one person in the village, a newcomer, who decided to take the challenge. And all he did was, I am going to go. I'm going to see what the troll looks like. And I'm going to make these people happy. I'm going to help them use the bridge so that they can go to the other side of the bridge and see what they had missed all these years. Probably there were such beautiful things on the other side of the bridge. People warned him. They said, please don't go. It is not a good idea at all. But he said, let me go and try. What's harm in trying? And he went to the bridge where they say the troll was hiding. The troll did hear the footsteps on the bridge. Ah, and he smelt human blood and human flesh. Ah, after a long time, I am going to eat human flesh, he thought, and he popped out. Of course, the ugly looking creature scared the man. He looked at the troll and he said, who are you? Can you please introduce yourself to me? You seem to have some guts, human. Don't you know who I am? Troll, they call me. I am the moon of the earth. I am the wealth sucker of the giants. I am the destroyer of the storm sun. I am the beloved follower of the seeress. I am the guardian of the graves. And I'm also the swallower of the wheel of heavens. Who is a troll other than this? You tell me. The troll introduced himself in the most dramatic way. The man was scared to death. But somehow he got the courage and he said, oh, maybe you are all of this. But the stories that I have heard about you say that you're very dull witted. Is that true? Dull witted? And I? Who is telling such stories about me? Tell me who is telling such stories about me. And let me tell you, I have never let any human talk to me for more than a minute. You are the first human to talk so much, but now you have put a black mark on me, and I would like to prove otherwise, said the troll. Of course, I think I'll be really happy to know that you're not dull witted. But tell me, how would you like to prove that? Said the man. The troll said, oh, in that case, man, you seem to be very engaging and entertaining to me. I will give you a chance. You can make one statement. You can tell one statement. If that statement is a lie, then you become my dinner. And if that statement is true, I will eat you up. Go on, make the statement, said the troll. The man got into the thinking mode. Ah, if the statement that I make is a lie, I am going to be the troll's dinner. And if the statement that I'm going to make is true, then the troll will eat me up. My God, what have I got myself into? But then he replied to the troll, what if I make a statement that is neither of these, or could be both? What? Is that even humanly possible? If you make such a statement, let me tell you, I will spare your life and I will get away from this bridge. That is what I can do to you, said the troll, because he was so sure that the statement that the man is going to make is definitely going to be so nice for himself because he will get what he had desired for all these days human flesh for dinner. The man went into the thinking mode and he said, all right, here is my statement. Whatever I'm saying is a lie. What? Asked the troll. Whatever I'm saying is a lie. And now the troll got into the thinking mode. Whatever I'm saying is a lie. If this statement is true, then it contradicts the statement itself. Because the statement says that whatever he says is a lie. But if that happens to be a lie, then the other thing is true. Uh, is it really true, or is it really lie? The man smiled and said, "Take your time. Whatever I'm saying is a lie," he said again. The troll did not understand that it was a paradox, but the man knew it. It was a statement that contradicted itself. And what do you think the troll did? He had to stick to whatever he had said to the man earlier. He let the man go. He spared the man's life, and he was never seen under the bridge ever again. People started using the bridge, and everything ended very happily ever after. So, that is a story that I found about a paradox that is used. This is known as the liar paradox, a very famous paradox. I always lie. This is based on that paradox. So when you say I always lie, are you telling the truth or are you lying? It's confusing, right? That is a paradox. So that was the story, the first story that we wanted to tell you. And the second story, again, is a very, very interesting story. In fact, I found these in one of the Tamil story sections that I regularly visit to read. And it's such a beautiful story. It's about a merchant, a very, very successful businessman, a merchant who never shared any of his secrets with anybody. So people, his competitors, always tried to go and see if they could get, that particular thing which made him the most successful businessman ever. But he was a very clever man. And now they had tried, all these other people had tried so many ways to go and get those business secrets from him. And the man knew it. And so one day he decided to call all his competitors and give them advice on what is the secret behind his successful business. The people were overjoyed. They went and people came in hundreds because everybody wanted to know what this man was going to say. He called them, made them sit, looked at them, served them tea and biscuits and samosas, whatever you name it. And after everybody was happily seated and eagerly looking at the merchant to know more about what the secret could be, the merchant said, "My dear people, I know that you all are very eager to know the secret behind a successful business. Let me tell you this. There are only two things that you will need to follow. One is integrity, and the second is to have a sharp mind." There was one person who was very enthusiastically, he just wanted to know what it was. He just got up and he said, "Sir, can you please tell me what do you mean by integrity?" And the man looked at him, smiled, and said, of course, my dear one, let me tell you, please sit, relax. Integrity is, if you are going to promise to your customers something, then you will not break that at any cost, even if that is going to make you run your business at a loss. That is integrity, said the man. Wow, everybody was so amazed. What a man he is. My God, maybe that is what has made him a very successful businessman. Everybody was talking amongst themselves. What kind of a man he is? He should be a man with great integrity. He indeed is a big example of how people should be living. But then there was this Intupatani, or the jumping beans, who just got up and said, "Sir, but you never told us how to have a sharp mind, and what is a sharp mind?" And he said, "Yes, let me tell you that too. Sit down, sit down." And then he said, "To have a sharp mind means to not to make such promises to your customers." He said, he got up and he left. What did just happen now? The people were all sitting there in shock. What did he just say? He said, "We need to have integrity to win our customers' hearts." And he said, "We need to have a sharp mind to not give any word to the customer that would make us become or have more integrity." What did he just say? And now, none of them knew, or none of them were able to make out that he actually used paradox to confuse them. The man just laughed and walked out. Now, this is a paradox, and the story, of course, has a moral which I really don't tell to people. So I'm just leaving it to you to take whatever you want to take out of the story. But what I really liked about the story is the paradox itself. So these are the two stories that we wanted to share with you all today. I know these are short stories, but short is always also sweet. So go back and think if you can find more paradox stories like this. Now, great writers always try to also make the characters in the story uh, paradoxical. Like, for example, my daughter was telling me today when I was discussing paradox tales to her, she's in the ninth grade, and she said, "Ma, last year we had a story in our English reader, and it was called The Open Window by Sukhi." And the little girl Vera in the story is actually a paradoxical character, ma. And I asked her how, and she told me how Vera was a paradoxical character in the story. Yes, she was. So go and read The Open Window also. You will get to understand what a paradox or how people use paradox in their stories. Now, there are big different paradoxes that you can find, very popular paradoxes that you can find in the internet. One of them is the crocodile paradox. Most of you would have heard of that. And one is they call it the card paradox. Go and read through all that and see if you can find stories about these paradox, or better, let me give you a challenge. Can you make a story with these paradoxes? If you did, please write to us, because the only aim of Tailscope is to create a spark in the mind of the people who are listening to us. If what we share with you is creating a spark and it's asking you to go and find more about the same, then I think we have achieved what we wanted. So it was such a lovely thing to go and find Paradox Tales, and I'm definitely going to find more about this. Probably I'm challenging myself to write Paradox Tales too. If I write one, I would definitely share with you all the Paradox Tale that I have written. But please do watch this, and do comment below about what you think about this audio or video that we have shared with you. And if you really like the tales, do press the like button. It means a lot to us, because when viewers come and see the content, and if they really like it, please do like and consider subscribing too. Tell your friends and family and everybody else who would love to listen to such tales and have that spark in their mind, to subscribe to our channel. And I will see you soon. That is on the next series. That is going to be the Endra Ondra Kada in Tamil, and that's going to happen on the 8th of June. And you know what? It is going to be food tales this time for Endra Ondra Kada. But our next Dandanaka series will be happening on the first Saturday of July, and the title, I will let you know soon. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all soon. Ta ta.